Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. Flu season's over, right? So you can let your guard down. Our next guest says flu season actually lasts all year long, and you should always be cautious. Irwin Stromeyer is the owner at Sterile Space Infection Defense. Let's start off with your company, sir. First, thanks for being here. And what does your company do?
My company does what would be referred to as public infection control. We treat the issue called cross-contamination infection, which is the way most people actually get sick most of the time, which is somebody is sick with some kind of infection. They either cough and spread the germs onto a surface that way, or they somehow get their own saliva or whatever on their hands, they touch a surface, somebody else touches that surface and then takes those germs with them, and as soon as they touch their eyes, nose, or mouth, they've given that germ the entry point to their body so that it can replicate and cause the infectious problem.
There's some horrible diseases that are spread that way. The one we talk about the most is the flu. We just went through a horrible flu season. We were told the flu season is over. You're saying you can still get the flu.
You can get the flu year-round, because don't forget, it's not on a clock of any kind. It's not like, okay, not only is it tax season on April 15th, but it's the end of flu season. That's not the case. As long as the infection is carried by a host, it can be spread year-round.
And how do you stop yourself from getting the flu? Same thing as usual?
Well, it depends what you call the same thing as usual. The way, like I said, we most often get sick is by touching a surface somebody else is contaminated with their germs and then introducing those germs to ourselves. So, as the CDC and many other health agencies say, the best way to keep from catching an infection is to wash our hands frequently, but wash them well. That's true too. But the other thing that's important is to try not to touch as many contaminated surfaces as you don't even realize you're doing during the day, such as the door handles to the entrance to the building, elevator buttons, telephones that everybody is using, the coffee pot and the refrigerator handle in the employee break room. All of those types of things are contaminated time and time again during the day. So what my company does is we come in example, to a high population type of facility like a child care center, and we do a terminal disinfection, and then we use what's called a long-term antimicrobial coating, which helps kill a vast amount of the pathogens that land on the treated surface so that they can't be transmitted.
Because flu is just one. There's worse.
Flu is one of
diseases.
many.
And give me some examples.
Well, the spread of E. coli, the spread of Enterococcus, the spread of MRSA, okay? And I mean, you could go down a list that would take 6 days to go through.
And all these are contact diseases?
Yes. Yes, because they can survive on surfaces. Things like what they call stomach flu or norovirus can last for quite a long time on a friendly enough surface so that just because people think, oh, it's been 3 weeks since anybody caught it, if you touch the spot where it happens to be residing and it's still viable, you can catch it.
And you said something frightening to me, that when we were younger, they used to treat us by just giving us an antibiotic. Here, just take this antibiotic.
Right.
But that had some long-lasting effects.
Well, the long-lasting effect, unfortunately, was rather negative because we didn't know way back then, 20, 30, 50, 80 years ago, that the infectious organisms we were trying to kill with antibiotics would actually adapt to them. And now they're called adaptive organisms or superbugs, such as MRSA. MRSA used to be just run-of-the-mill Staphylococcus aureus. Now it's methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. And the thing is, there are a lot of medications that used to be the silver bullet, and now the infections just laugh at those medications. And that's a problem because from years and years and years of doctors prescribing antibiotics from a prophylactic or preventative point of view, that is what saturated our systems with it and allowed these organisms over time to form an adaptation so that it wouldn't harm them.
Is there a worse thing going around right now, something that we should be aware of?
The thing to really be aware of is the creation of these superbugs, because where you used to be able to catch something and you'd go to the doctor and they'd either give you something for it or they'd say, okay, stay home from school for a few days, drink plenty of fluids and all that stuff. You just can't flush out superbugs. And once a resistant organism is in your system, and I can tell you from family personal experience, all right, that they can give you, high-powered antibiotic after high-powered antibiotic, and it may do nothing.
Oh, that's fascinating. It's amazing how it seems like the answer to many of these diseases is just wash your hands.
Well, it's wash your hands, but it's also just as important. Don't forget, your hands are always touching things, all right? So there are numerous health agencies that have said that these are the transport system for germs from surface to surface, which they are. It's keeping the surfaces clean and giving the surfaces the ability to protect themselves.
And that's where your company comes in. Real quickly, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested?
Well, they can call us at 973-714-8228, or they can go to our website at www.sterilespace.com, or they can send me an email to Irwin, IRWIN, at sterilespace.com.
All right, sir, thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to shake hands, but I'll wash it.
Yes, please do.
I will.
Thank you very much for having me.
Irwin Stromeyer is the owner at Sterile Space Infection Defense. Jersey Matters continues right after this. Still to come on Jersey Matters, there's more ticks in the state than ever before. We'll tell you how you can protect yourself. That's coming up.